Hey guys, today is Sunday, the 20th of June, and just a video just to kick off the week. Big week ahead, right, with the Brexit. So I don't really want to talk too much about the charts, just in general, really what's going on, and how a lot of people don't really understand how the market really works, and I'm no expert at this. I'm not some kind of there are plenty more people that know more than me, but I think I know enough, to make these kind of comments. But just wanted to show you quickly just the economic calendar for the week, right? Because you can see, um, not many big events happening this week. It's very, very quiet. Besides the Brexit, right? The Brexit's the big one. But you've got a few, RBA minutes. You've got Yellen's speech, all that kind of stuff, right? So the big question now is the UK going to stay in the euro, right? Now, this is my what I think will happen. I think that they will end up staying. I could be wrong, right? I could be very wrong. You got to understand that it's like the Scottish referendum, right? It doesn't really matter if they get majority votes to stay out of the euro. The people in power are going to make sure that they stay in the euro, all right? So David Cameron, he's in on this too, like this is all just for show, just you can understand that these guys, they're not stupid. They're very, they're willing to like the move Cameron did was to announce the referendum and give the British people a chance to vote. That's really covering his ass, right? And that's kind of like part of the game. It's part of the agenda. Like, it needs to be set up that way, right? You can't just do things, right? But eventually, they're going to stay in the euro, right? So the question is going to be, what happens to the market if they stay in the euro, right? Well, I think we're going to see, I think either decision, right? Either decision, you're going to see some kind of sell-off, right? Generally, the market sells off initially on good news, and then you'll see maybe a snap rally back up, right? That could happen. Now, what if the news is bad? What if they do get out of the euro, right? Honestly, I don't know what the reaction, how the market will react. I reckon it'll be, both negative and positive. But either way, there's no doubt about it that you're going to see a lot of whipsaws coming up down. So I think we're going to see a lot of big moves this week, right? A lot of up and down movement. But that's, there's opportunity there, but you got to be really careful with what trades you take. So now the other thing was, this is the thing, right? I've seen in the media lately, especially, a lot of the pro-Euro, right? They're bagging the British, saying, if they don't stay in here, then, we're not going to do trade with them, blah, 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 blah. They're going to destroy Europe and, basically blaming the UK for, if the Euro goes down, it's going to be blamed on the UK, which is bullshit, right? Because, honestly, like, hearing all these threats like the Euro will stop trading with UK on this and this. The fact of the matter is the Euro have nothing to offer, right? And the UK are a very self-sufficient economy, right? If anything, the Euro depend on the UK more, okay? A lot more. So that's really, so when I hear those things, it's really stupid, right? Because the Euro's got nothing to offer, right? They're on negative interest rates. They've got a migrant crisis. They've got a jobs crisis, right? They've got a crisis everywhere, right? So there's no chance in hell that they're going to be able to, they can make those kind of statements because, UK by far is, UK's not doing so well, but it's doing far better. It's got more to offer than the Euro, right? So that's the first thing. So you're going to hear a lot of stuff in the media that it's going to have a big impact, but I don't think it's going to have a big impact in the short term. In the short term it will, but in the longer term I don't think so, because even if they do vote to get out, it's going to take years to fully implement the system, right? It's a gradual thing. It won't be all done at once, right? But so the short term you'll see a lot of volatility, but the market will eventually find fair value. Okay, so that's the other thing. Now, this is the chart of the German DAX, which is Germany's main stock index, the 30 biggest companies, and I trade these as well. So, but what I want to show you was just from the analysis point of view is you can see here the market's kind of head down, right? And this is where you can use various techniques to do some predictive analysis, right? Now, I'm not trying to predict what the market will do on the day, right? But I'm just kind of just having a look to see, right? There's no harm in looking and kind of doing some analysis there, right? So you can see here, right? The market kind of came back down, and we put in this new structure high, right? Then we put in a new higher low, and then we put in a lower high. So we didn't break this structure level. So this is telling us we're going to see a trend change. Okay. So what the market did was it came back down, broke structure, right? Which gives us a confirmation that we're going to see a continuation of downside. But before that happens, we need to see a retracement, which is going to be an up move into one of these levels here. Okay. So if this really is a trend change, we should see the market move up, and then at some point reverse and come back down, right? That's the first scenario. The other scenario is we could see this completely break above this previous top, and this could just be completely a false breakout. False, okay? That's the second one. The third one is, we could, make that there, come back down, right? And then just right about there, right, before we even break below that structure level, we could be zapping back up. Few scenarios there, right? What I'm just showing you is that, there's you can narrow these down and kind of anticipate what's going to happen so that you can be prepared for it, all right? So you can make some decisions, okay? So between now and Wednesday, if the market heads up to this level, right, between now and Wednesday or Wednesday night, right, if the market reaches this level, I'm going to short the market, right? I'm going to put a short for a short to go down, probably take targets around these levels here. But I'll also look for a long position, because I have a feeling we're going to see higher prices in the stock market moving forward, okay? I don't say that lightly, but like I said, if you understand how the market works, then this wouldn't be too much of a surprise to you, right? But a lot of people will look at this and think, because the economy is doing well and stuff, and that's why it's going up. But you got to understand it. The stock market is just it's far from a real market, right? It's just being pumped with printed money, right? So one thing I was going to mention is, the other thing I was going to mention is, you got to understand that the US is insolvent, okay? It's actually officially insolvent. If you don't believe me, go look on their website. They will tell you, right? It doesn't say we're insolvent, all right? It shows, you got to look at the numbers, right? And according to the US, basically right now, they only have, I think, about $2 trillion of physical cash in reserve or in circulation or something like that. I can't remember. But, either way, it doesn't matter if they have 10, really, because that's technically meaning they're insolvent. Considering their economy is like worth 50 trillion or something like that. That means that they don't have enough cash to pay off those debts. They don't have nowhere near enough physical cash that matches what they have on record on that they've created via typing a few numbers on a computer, because that's how most of it's really created these days, right? So there's a big gap there, and this was a crisis that Australia almost faced in the last GFC. So my voice is fucked today. So yeah. Oops. When what should we call it? Australia almost had a bank run, a mini bank run, right? So the people that were in the know, they started to go to withdraw their cash, right? This is not small amounts; these are pretty large amounts, right? No one really knew what was going on, and it got to the point where there was actually not enough physical cash in the system to meet the demand, right? So the RBA had to basically print more money. I think it was 200 billion more, or 200 million. I can't remember what it was. But basically, the RBA had to come to the rescue, print more money, and just save the system. Because the system literally would have crashed if we didn't if there was more people coming in, wanting physical cash, right? So we did, and that was covered off so well because I only found that out about a few years ago. So you got to understand that because it's a real possibility in the near future. So, anyways, long story short, I think we're going to see more up move in the markets. There'll be volatility this week, of course, but I think we're going to see some up move in the markets and, potentially test the previous tops and then maybe possibly see new highs. We don't know yet, but you got to be careful because this market is very, very overbought. Okay, so this could, this is all computer algorithms, right? The computer algorithms that run the market. So who knows what the configurations are or how, what they interpret as being support or resistance or whatever it is. You might see a sudden drop in the markets, right? Who knows how big too? So you're gonna be prepared for that. So be careful with your long positions, but add to your short positions as the market moves up. Because you want to be in the position already before the move happens. You don't want to be chasing the move afterwards. You want to already be in there, right? Okay, cool. I'll leave it at that. Have a good week, and I'll talk to you soon.